Hello there. We are live on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. Come in the comments and tell us that you can see us. So I know that I'm actually live. And where are you? How's it going? How's the week been, etc. And let's get cracking. We have another session of SuperCharge Fridays every single Friday. This is week 76. My goodness, time flies. So drop in the comments. It always takes a minute or two for the platforms to actually get the notification that I'm live. So I'm going to wait. I hope you have lots of questions. I have a full 30 minutes dedicated to those questions so I can answer them fresh with my tea and with my best advice possible. I can't think of a better combination. So drop in and where are you? How's it going? How's your week been? Let's chat. So hi, lovely folks around here, and I want to give a quick shout out to Brendan. Good morning, Brendan. It's early morning for you, and I want to highlight to everyone that Brendan is actually going to be live with me next week. He is amazing. He is one of the most fabulous sort of communication public speaking coaches out there that I've encountered. And I have the pleasure and honor of having him live right here on Supercharge Fridays next Friday. And we're going to talk about communication because that's one of the questions I get a lot from people. And it's not even about, English being your second or your third language. It's not about native language. Is much more than that. And we're going to talk about that in a very brief amount of time because Brendan knows communication is something that, you can read a whole book on and it's not going to be enough. So do catch me next Friday with Brendan. And yeah, I can't wait to be live with Brendan. So having said that, lovely to have you guys come in. I am looking forward to your questions. It's good to see everybody, some new faces in here. If it's your first time, a very warm welcome. I'm in Brussels. It's a little past 2 p.m. here. I'm a career strategist. I've been doing this for a while. I love what I do. I love helping people. So definitely yes, I definitely see some new faces here and it is lovely. So thank you. So I'm looking forward to the questions because what happens is the questions come a few minutes later and then I breeze through them, like I rush through them really fast. So I always tell people, if you have a burning question, please come in early so that I can have the time to address it properly. Do we have any Harshika? You're very welcome. I'm happy that it's been helpful. How can a doctor negotiate salary? Dude, one of the old, they say a certain profession is one of the oldest professions in the world. I don't know. I think it's medicine and farming. So no matter what type of medicine you practice, you're in the process of saving lives. So yes, you can negotiate. Go and watch those negotiation videos. They apply to everyone. Obviously, tweak them to yourself. But let me know if you have a very specific Ayan. Let me know if you have a very specific question because yeah, honestly, any profession can negotiate. You know. So let's see. How do you build your personal brand? All right, I like this. So Hale, how do you build a personal brand at your job? First of all, let's talk about what a personal brand is. Very simple. I'm simplifying it because this is a topic that you can talk about for an hour minimum. The personal brand is being on top of the narrative. What does that mean? You are in control of what others think and say about you, particularly when you're not in the room. So they say, let your work speak for itself. I wish that were true. It takes a lot more than good work to speak for itself. If it were only work speaking for itself, then every hard worker would have a strong personal brand and get ahead and get promoted and get those coveted salary increases, right? I wish it were that simple. It's not. So there are different ways to do it. What is your message? What are you about? What do people say about you when you're not in the room? First of all, have a bit of a diagnosis, baseline, and understand 3 to 5 words that people use again and again to describe you. And then take those and then combine them with what you think you stand for, because they may not be the same. And it's good if they're not the same, because you're learning, you're pushing through some new knowledge, and maybe even some discomfort. So there's really, there's no end to how you can control your personal brand, but at the end of the day, it's how you speak with people, how you show up, how do you make them feel. I have a whole detailed presentation on personal branding. I think if you go to uh, LinkedIn and do hashtag personal branding, hashtag Supercharge Fridays, you'll see a lot in there. It's also what you talk about, not just how you say it, but it's also what are you talking about? What are you known for? If you're two people in a room and Sohail is there and someone says, hey, this is Sohail. He is, what are they going to say next? He is B. That is getting in terms of your personal branding, because that's what people are using to define you and introduce you again and again. You want to be in charge and in control of how they introduce you, right? All right. Um, let's see what else do we have in there, because I want to get cracking. Okay, I clearly see that I am now behind, so I'm going to go faster now. Hi Suraj, is it a common practice by companies to put employees on a probation period? It's very common. It's very common in the country that I live in. Probation period, trial period doesn't exist, but yes, it is common. Think of it as like try before you buy. I'm sure you do that with things. Yes, that can also happen with people, particularly whether they're entry level or even senior. I've seen it happening in both. Congrats, Gandharv. I hope your new job is going well. Let's see. Shromon. Hello. What should be the gap between a change of employment such that the recruiter doesn't question the stability? Good question. And I'm going to give you the answer you're not going to like. It totally depends. I don't like to be somewhere if I absolutely am miserable, just for appearances and for showing that I'm stable. What the heck is stable? I mean, if anything, COVID has shaken up the very concept of stability. If you look at millennials today, I believe the duration that they are in is 1.8 years. You can say that, yeah, they're not stable. No, they're not. It's not that. You got to look out for your career. If a better opportunity comes, have a very, very strong reason to jump ship. It shouldn't be only money or only one, or you know what I mean, only the other. You look out for yourself. If you're not learning or growing in the company anymore, it's your responsibility, because you have no business complaining. So I'm not going to tell you 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. If that's the answer you're looking for, I think there's a lot more nuance in there. Parveen, how do you overcome fear due to a toxic work culture? You got to distance yourself. It's very easy for me to say it. I'm not in your situation, but toxic is poison, right? So if you encounter poison and it's touching your skin or you're breathing it, the first thing you need to do is you got to get it out of the system. It's not any different with mental as well. So what does that mean? Make a plan. What are you going to do? There has to be some steps attached to it. If it's really bad, are you in a position to quit? Do you have cushion? Do you have income? Can you take up certain jobs as bridge jobs to pay the rent and your expenses? Otherwise, if you can't, then stick around, grin and bear it, but have a very clear plan of action that you're going to do it for 3 or 6 months more. Having said that, and G knows it because G was live with me as well. The longer you stay, the worse it will be for your confidence, for your health. I have clients who've been in toxic work cultures for too long, much longer than they should have, and the damage is a little bit harder to, address. So, I'm not in the US. Let's see. Kashim, how do you suggest taking the risk of a new job taking the risk of a new job? There's no risk. There's no risk in a new job. If you mean to say, I don't actually understand the question. So start a new job. I don't understand. There's no real risk as such. You're 18. So sweet. Oh, I miss being 18. I'm so glad that you're looking after your career at 18. At 18, I was lost. What can I start to do now? See, this is what I mean. You're very mature and very advanced for your age. What can I do which can be helpful for me in the future? I think, Abhinav, the best thing you can do is understand yourself, what sparks joy, life in you, and learn that. Learn, absorb. Um, they say, it's easier to learn, and it's true. Okay, some people will disagree with me, and it's it's politically incorrect to say it. It's a lot easier to learn when you're younger than when you're older. Like, for example, languages, right? Um, there's some, yeah, I read this somewhere. It was very funny. There's some things that are just more difficult to do with time if you haven't done it before as a child. Number one is learn French. It was about languages, and number two was I can't remember. It doesn't matter. So it's difficult to mold the person the older they are. I'm not saying it's impossible, but it gets harder. So I would say just grab any opportunity to learn. Understand yourself. Understand, because you think you know what you want. You think you get it. You have no idea. You have no idea the curveballs that are going to hit you. So take advantage of the time you have. You have a lot of time. So don't be impatient, and watch a video of mine which I did a few weeks ago on life lessons that I have learned, and I put them down in like 19 minutes. So you'll get a much more detailed answer. All right, Shelja, please answer my question today. So where is your question, Shelja? If I see it, I will answer it. I don't see it yet. All right. So I don't know your question. You'll have to put it in the comments. There you are. I have Crohn's disease. Okay. Due to which I lost vision in one eye and hearing of loss in the. I'm so sorry about that. Now I'm used to it. Okay. Listen. First of all, you're very patient. I know you've been wanting to get an answer to this question. And I wanted you to ask me live because I want others to listen to it. Okay. Number one, if you've been through something difficult, right? I can even say in your case, Shelja, it's life altering. Losing vision in one eye and hearing loss in the other, you can say it's potentially life altering, right? When you've been through something like this, you've given it enough time to heal and recover, right? Because for some people, this can be very raw and it can take a long time to recover. So it sounds to me like you've recovered from it. Um, why do I say that? You've got a lot of hunger to move on. That makes you a badass. That makes you a badass. Someone who's been given a pile of cards, a deck of cards, and you're like, I don't like it. I want to change it. You're a badass. Okay. Fantastic. So when first of all, I wanted to acknowledge that, because please don't think that there's something wrong. Okay. You're different from anyone else. And sometimes different is better than better. Okay. Second of all, when you're in an interview scenario and things are going great, I would not suggest divulging this information. You're not cheating them. The caveat, so hold on, I'm not done. The caveat here is that if there is anything that you think is going to prevent you from doing the job to the best of your ability, then you have to bring it up. Some things are very noticeable. I had this question some months ago about someone who has a stammer. He doesn't have to say anything. It's kind of, it's the first thing people hear. But in your case, it's a lot more invisible, right? And Crohn's disease is very well known and very diagnosed. So if you think it's going to prevent you from doing a great job, you don't want to cheat them. You want to, I would. However, if it doesn't, I wouldn't say anything. And I would actually wait till the offer letter. And when the offer letter comes, oh, by the way, because some people have medical tests at the start, or you have to fill up a form for medical insurance. If it comes up there, fine. But if you are 100% sure it's not going to prevent you from doing the best of your ability, I really don't think it's any of their business. You know what I mean? It's in the past tense. And no, it's not in the past tense. You still have the disease. But the fact that you have lost vision in one eye, Shelja, I think it will be obvious as well. I'll tell you what, so I wouldn't mention it if you think it's not going to come in the way. If you think it is, then wait for the offer and then tell them. Okay. The other thing is, if they're rejecting you and you think they're rejecting you because you have this, then you can just address it up front, saying, listen, I know I'm different. I've been through a certain set of life experiences that have actually toughened me up. So because of this, for the last 3 years, people tend to underestimate me and all that I'm about. I would like you to give me a chance because you'll never come across anyone way more hardworking than me. You have to be confident in that. You got to practice it. Like I'm talking to the lens right now. It's not easy for me, right? But it's taken what? 76 weeks. Rome wasn't built in a day, right? I hope that helps you. All the best. Like I said, you're a badass. Do not forget that. All right. Is it okay to disclose about your offer that you're holding while discussing to other recruiters? I would. I think that helps to drive urgency and scarcity. Those are the oldest tricks in buyer psychology. So if they especially are wasting your time, I would say, yeah, I've actually got another offer in hand. So could you give me an idea by when you can get back to me? I would do that. Why the heck not? We had a doctor earlier. Now we have a nurse. Hello. I'd like to choose between a healthcare MBA in healthcare and MSc in health management. Honestly, I'll know whichever one. You gotta pick one. Do not ask random strangers here because you're outsourcing the decision-making process. You'll never know the right or wrong answer. I couldn't tell the difference between, for me, they're like, Greek and Latin. So just pick one and do it. Ultimately, it's not about the degree as much as what you make out of it. Who are the people that you met? Did you broaden and widen your network, right? I would do that. All the very best, Shelja. And if others are in this situation, guys, I highly recommend that you share this live stream with your friends, with what I shared. This is obviously my opinion. You may disagree with me and you completely diss it. That's fine. You toss my advice out the window in the trash, but take what was useful, right? And then apply your own common sense. Anjali, due to the pandemic, I'm not able to get a job. I'm a fresh graduate and I'm doing some certification. Will this help me to justify that? Yeah, sure. Don't worry about the gap so much. Anjali, listen to, and plus you're a fresh graduate. You've graduated in a very difficult time. So be kind to yourself. If any other questions related to employment gaps in your career, I would like you to Google a guy called Mac. I'm going to just take a second and I'm going to share my screen because I really, really think it's going to be useful. Give me a second. It's live when you have awkward silence, etc., etc. All right. So if you Google a guy called Mac Pritchard, so he has a website called Mac's List. Do you see the can you see the URL? Let me see. You can't see the URL. Hold on. Mac, yeah, there it is, Mac's List. So Mac's List /podcast. Okay. Now there, I had a conversation with him about long-term unemployment. It's not so applicable to someone who's just started their career, but there is a very detailed step-by-step approach I have, and take advantage of that. So it's going to help you out. Okay, all the best, Anjali. You're going to do great. How do you respond when a manager says you are promoted and later change that you are not promoted? Huh? What? You ask. Like, doesn't make any sense. Excuse me. Can you please help me to understand? What the heck is going on? Yeah. I love personal brand as well. And honestly, I can talk about it much, much longer. How do you maintain good relations with HR? I would say, Hemant, just think of them as people first. They have jobs just like you do. They're not that different. They're not better than you. They're not worse than you. They're just there to, they have certain goals. Is there any way you can help them with their goals? Find out what their goals are and how can you help them? If they're in recruitment, do you know people who could fill that position, or, hiring managers who are specifically looking for someone and they don't mind referring, helpful, happy to get referrals. Can you help them with that? Because they have difficult deadlines or whatever. I would say whenever you help someone to meet their goals is always good, they're always indebted to you. That's a very nice feeling. I'm not saying that then you can say, give me, can you do this favor for me? It's not always transactional. Just do something with the goodness of your heart and expect nothing in return. Great way to start relationships. All right. Okay, my friend in Honduras, Iris, can you ask for more money if you're bilingual, but the job posting says bilingual preferred? So I don't understand why you have a but in the question. Can you ask for more money if you're bilingual? And the job posting says bilingual is preferred. 100% yes. 120% yes. Of course you can. Just be confident about the value, your value that you bring, and how it's going to make their life easier. Right? Nidhi, tips on moving to a new job during the pandemic. I have a video on moving to a new job in my YouTube channel. Take it out, check it out. It's from a couple of years ago, so obviously at that point there was no pandemic, but there will be a lot of common elements there, which are universal, which are going to help you. But long story short, one of the things I talk a lot about in that video is LOL. It's not laughing out loud. It's learning, observing, listening. A lot of that, because a lot of times in the beginning, smarty pants smart Alex will have opinions. I'll be like, in my company, this is how we used to do things. Forget it, okay? No one cares from then. They hired you because they want a fresh set of eyes, so bring in those fresh set of eyes. Oh, amazing. Thanks for sharing, G. Anna's nice. Anna's very, very nice, and she's doing a guest. Okay, awesome. I'll definitely make sure I check it out as well. Yes, I already shared that with you, Abhinav. Just whatever it is that you can do in terms of learning, I think that would help you as that would help you. Guys, I'm not going to be online for a whole hour. I don't have that kind of time, unfortunately. So I'm going to be quick. Single page or double page? I would say under 10 years experience, single page. Yes, single page. There you go. How do foreign trade consultancy business with my job? I'm sorry, Raj, I can't answer you. This is a very specific question. It's not related to general questions on careers. So in case I change my career or profession, what is the best answer if employer asks for a reason? I think just be honest. Just be honest why you want to leave. Be honest, but make sure you practice with someone or practice in front of the mirror so you come across as genuine as well. Right? Raghavendra, I got an offer from the government. They're not listed in Glassdoor for salaries. I don't have historical data. Find out from friends if you can. Otherwise, look at if this particular organization is not in Glassdoor, there will be similar sized organizations in Glassdoor or on the internet. You'll get an idea. You may not get the exact, that's okay. Not many of us get exact idea. So Nehal, catch me live next week with Brendan. We're going to talk about communication skills, and I'm sure he has a pile of books that he's going to recommend to you as well. All right, I see some repeated questions. 1 year ago, I joined the company as a fresher, and in old tech, I want to shift to new technology. How should I talk about it in the interview? I wouldn't say talk about like, this is what I want. Don't focus on what you want. Focus on what you bring in interviews, right? And what are the common points? And I don't even know old and new. It doesn't really matter. Focus on, and the new one, as much as you can, Suryadev, focus on learning as much as you can. So you're not like a total fresh off the boat, wide-eyed, figuring things out. All right. What else? Let's see. My goodness. Oh, crazy number of questions. Can you please tell me when you apply for a job, we get a call from HR, but mostly we feel we lost further process. We did not get any further actions. Why? Follow up. That's the only thing I will tell you. Find out from them and follow up why they didn't, get back to you. Let's see. Issue. What do you do when you're doing exceptionally well at your position, but dying for other responsibilities and promotions, but the organization is getting business from you? Yeah, they want you to stay where you are. Issue, first of all, I think when you're saying you're doing exceptionally well, I really want you to test that. And it should be in writing. Your boss should have written it somewhere. And your boss's boss should be aware of how awesome you are. Because I don't want this to be perception based. It should be like reality, right? And I think that something like this doesn't work in big steps. So go in like baby steps. Ask for more, but it doesn't have to be like, give me this project 100% in charge. Start with part-time, maybe 1 day a week, etc. Just sort of dip your toes in it. It's really for the company's good and for your good as well. So I think that'll help you for sure. And I am 100% Indian. Would you please give some tips and tricks for a career in consulting? Um, the more specific your question, Sadanand, the better, because honestly, a question like this, I don't know where to begin. Entry level supply chain jobs, I can't help you in that, Praneeth. I'm sorry. Again, if you have questions, this is a good time to practice. First of all, network with each other. If you're interested in what somebody wrote, connect with them saying, hey, I saw you on Sonal's live stream on Friday. Secondly, practice the art of asking good questions. Your question has to have a very specific end. Like, what do you want? Can you give me tips on consulting? Come on. Where do I start with that? Now, look, I think this is an example of a specific questions. Vishal, I've cleared 3 rounds. One final round with the director is getting postponed and not getting much updates. Oh, I understand that. That happens, Vishal. It's got very little to do with you. Have patience, but please keep following up. One email every week to check how it's going. Let's see. Karishma. I joined the company 3 months ago and I had to. How do you switch to another company, convincing other companies? Karishma, have a very strong message why you're switching. Okay. If it's lack of alignment, say so. But have a very clear backstory why. Guys, please don't repeat your questions in there. I am flooded in here and it's not fair because I'm not going to be able to go to the others who are, who are joining later. In case if I'm changing, in case if, first of all, you don't need in case and if. Small little English lesson, both have the same purpose. If I change my career or profession, what can be the best answer if employee asks the question? If employer asks the question, why are you changing, Rehan? I can't answer that for you. Why are you changing? Do you know why you're changing? Are you running towards something? Are you running away from something? Answer that for yourself. And if you're running towards something, why? What attracts you and why are you the right fit? Get into that. I have a detailed video on salary, on career change on my YouTube channel in a lot more detail. So you'll get. I have no thoughts on this. It's very common, Srinivasan, in Europe to have a 13-week notice period. It's the law. It doesn't matter what I think. I'm not the person who's going to go and change it. It's very okay, Madhu, to have gaps in your CV. If you've just joined us in the replay live stream, then go back and watch the replay. And I talk about a podcast interview I did with someone on gaps in your career. How do you win multiple job offers and defend the same when you have it? There's nothing to defend, Dipesh. If you have multiple job offers, that's fantastic, particularly in a pandemic or a recession. You are in a luxury position to pick and choose. Choose, according to me, and I've talked about this many times, choose the position that will help you in your growth to go from A to B. Don't be only attracted, seduced by the company name and the benefits, and they have a ping pong table. See the meat of the role and where you can learn as much as possible. All right. Let's see. Tanuj, I'm sharing my CV for hundreds of posts. I'm not getting any response. Tanuj, their reason number one could be that if you're applying to hundreds of positions, that's the first problem. Don't apply to hundreds of positions. Be very clear and very targeted because we call this in HR spray. Spray and pray. Don't do that. Look at 10 and 15, something like that, manageable number, and research the heck out of these positions and understand who works there. What are their pain areas? How much money are they making? What are their products and services? Top line, bottom line, everything, revenues, earning calls, and then reach out to recruiters or headhunters or hiring managers in those roles. This is one way to do it. Yes, keep applying, but it's a gamble when you're doing that, right? Yeah, that's what we were talking about. Don't stay somewhere just because it looks good on paper. Fatima, burning question. Yeah, somebody who's had 4 years of work experience in a big four and is looking for a change towards specialized consulting, but I've gone ahead and put through referrals. I don't understand the question. Can you go back and Fatima and explain? I'm 32, aspiring cabin crew. I get negative. Mindset is a very difficult one. We cannot address that in like a 30-second answer. You need to understand why, number one. Why do you want to get in cabin crew? I don't care about your age. If Donald Trump can become the president, with 0 years of experience at that age, you can do anything. You can do anything. Okay, enough said. All right. Follow up. Yes, 100% follow up. When I resign based on toxic behavior, ew, revengeful, I understand. That's awful, Bala. How to escalate this to higher management? Don't. Get the hell out. Bala, run. If this is where the company is situated, you run there. Run in the opposite direction. You need to recover from it. Don't underestimate the time it takes to heal. Don't escalate it. Leave them. Leave them in their cesspool of toxicity, scum. It takes one to know one. Okay? Just leave it. Yeah. All right. We talked about fresh graduates as well. Hi, Sabit. How do we get shortlisted? So listen to the earlier question that I was giving Tanuj as well. This came up, right? The more targeted you are in your job search. I joined a company and after 10 months got very impressive offer with a huge hike. Take it. Take it. That's okay. Look after yourself. You have to look after yourself. No one else is going to do it. But don't be only looking at the money. There has to be more to it. Remember, I talked about position. Okay, I'm going to be leaving. Okay, I'm going to see now. Take a second. I'm going to see some questions from LinkedIn because I'm not seeing a lot of questions from LinkedIn. I'm only seeing questions on YouTube. You got to put food on the table. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. But don't only have like a scarcity mindset. Let's see. Optimizing Naukri and LinkedIn profile. Abhishek, do a search on LinkedIn. And I also have on my website a LinkedIn profile checklist that will definitely help you as well. Mayu Rakshi. I'm an instructional designer, and I'd like to be employed in user experience. Do you think that if I can get certifications? Yes, 100%. You do need certifications, but you need much more than that. Get experience. So see if there are any opportunities you can get volunteer experience. Showcase. You're testing it out. It's alpha, beta phase. Alpha is like, I know what I want. Beta, I'm going to test it out. So beta test it, and it doesn't matter if you get paid or not, because it's one of the ways to get ahead. Ask for project work, volunteer experience, so that it's not just academic bookish knowledge that you've learned. Even courses tend to be bookish. When you put them into practice, that's when the rubber meets the road, right? When making a decision, toin costs. Nope. Yeah, do the best. You'll never know. You'll only know years later if it was the right or not, but it was just meant to be down that road. I agree with you. How do you stand out when applying for a job? So many different ways that I talked about. Apply, but at the same time, see who do you know in the network, etc. And there's one of the ways to help you stand out. Very targeted, very focused research. And there you're not overwhelmed with numbers. There it's very specific, right? And the devil is in the details, and the riches are in the niches. So if I'm interested in instructional design work or user experience work, I'm not looking at 100 companies. I'm looking at 10 companies that do this really well. So Pilar, for you as well, focus on certain companies that you really, really want to be in and go all in terms of your research. Like, you cannot put your hand on your heart and say, like even others, right? You can't put your hand on your heart and say, I've done everything I could. No, you haven't. There's networking. There's applying to jobs. There's hanging out in places like LinkedIn, like here, like what you're doing right now. There's Clubhouse. There's friends of friends. There's your kids' parents. Unbelievable. We haven't tapped, and we don't tap everywhere because we're a little bit like, yeah, I'm not sure what this one will think about me. Do you know what I mean? So, hi, Varsha. You can definitely add volunteer experience. Abhishek, you need to have patience. I understand. I understand. I've lost my job 3 times. So I really, really know what you're talking about. Update your profile, but it's not enough because if you update your profile, it's like having a fancy visiting card, a business card. That doesn't, that's not enough. You got to go and use it. You got to talk to people, right? And get over yourself. But please don't talk to people. The first thing you say is help me. Please don't do that. I get 10 of those messages a day. There's serious etiquette problem there. If the first thing you say is help me, look at my resume. No, don't do that. You haven't established a relationship with that person yet. Okay. All right. So, if an employee is working as a contractual role in an organization, can they continue with looking for better? 100%. Oh, yeah. The thing with the contract is you always know the end date and you do not know if they're going to renew it. So if I were you, Kinney, I would not only look at other, but I would also look at other contract positions. So a lot of freelancers and contractors I know will be like 3 days a week here, 2 days a week there, right? So that's the closest thing to full-time income, full-time job. But I would definitely not put all my eggs in one basket. So it's a good question. Suman, yeah, I talked about career change quite a bit, but definitely take advantage of courses, learning, volunteer work. You're gonna get there. Just have a very open mind, like a sponge, and learn as much as you can. Yeah, thanks for subscribing to the newsletter, Devika. It goes out on the first of the month, so it went out yesterday. So if you subscribe now, you'll get it in August. Unless I send it to people who subscribe later. It's a lot of work. I may not do that. Yes, it is appropriate to apply within 6 months if they reject you. Also understand why did they reject you. It's worth asking. Does a university ranking really matter? I say yes, Anjali, but only in the beginning. After a while, it's more about the world that the work you do. I don't really care if it's ranked 600 in the world. Forget it. Move on. People who have that are like seriously like hungover from the 1970s or 80s. I don't know. Focus on what really, really matters. Saurabh, I've cleared internal job posting. I think that's what you mean. Can I use the fact that I have an offer outside as well as to fasten the internal job posting so I don't lose and do it, but do it in a nice way. Don't use it as a threat to make those people hasten. I don't think you meant fasten because we use the word fasten for fasten the seatbelt. You can, but just be careful you don't lose any goodwill that you've built along the way. I would be very careful about that. Let's see what else. I'm a graduate master's in IT in 21. I've applied to lots of companies, lots of platforms. Same thing, targeted, specialized. Not everywhere. So I'll do anything. Please give me. I'll do any. No, don't do that. Don't lower yourself. Don't diminish yourself. Right? You have certain skills that people want. So go and specialize that. Make a tracker. It's very simple. Make an Excel sheet. And guys, if you're very serious and you're not getting the results you want, you can keep doing it on your own. But if you're not going to see outcomes from that, think about it. I have a membership online called the SuperCharge Club, and we meet twice a month with me live, and it's literally the price of a Netflix subscription. So take advantage. Honestly, try it out for a month. You don't like it, leave. But if you're doing certain things for many months and not seeing an outcome, it might be an opportunity to say, let me do something differently, right? Yeah, we talked about multiple job offers. That's really good. I'm seeing this question a lot. Thanks for coming, G. When you see multiple job offers, that's a very good thing. That means the economy is opening up. I'm at a help desk role after a 1 year gap in my employment. Is that going to affect my employment after higher studies? No, it's not. Just that doesn't define you. Just make sure that the messaging is very clear that you did this sometimes as a bridge job. That's okay. 18-year-old engineer out of a job for the last 6 months. When you say experienced, 18 You have 18 years experience. Well, you used to be 18. Currently not getting jobs. Yeah, so it's a bit of a repeated question. So just go back, and if you haven't heard me, then go back and listen to the replay. I definitely will address it. Josephine, Josephina, is it necessary that HR will conduct another interview after the principal? Yeah, it's possible. I don't know. It's possible. Let's see. Rojan, do you recommend staying at the same company if you're satisfied with work and pay, or do you recommend changing so I can explore? I would say change only if you want to. I wouldn't change for the sake of it. If you're happy where you are, grow there, stay there. There's nothing wrong with, there's no stigma. I join a company, I don't like their perspective. Be very clear, Rishika. These are serious decisions you're making. If you don't like something, why don't you like it? What do you not like about it? Give it time. Early days, it takes time to get used to. They take time to get used to you. You take time getting used to them. No wrong answer, Suman. Whether you switch between IT or manufacturing, I think it's great. You have not only depth, but you can also have breadth of experience. You can have both. Amol, I talked about salary negotiation in the interview on how you can do a salary, you can leverage that and you can say, this is what I have from this company. Will that be okay? It'll be great if you can match that. Say it, but say it nicely. Don't be threatening. Don't be rude. Nobody likes that. Good morning, Tegan. I'm addressing all the questions, guys, but I might not get through all of them. So yes, the answer is yes. If you want to, sure, you can do whatever you want. I got a job opportunity in an MNC, and it is the promotion to my current role. That's great. But it has been only 8 months that I started working in the current organization. Is it wise to take the opportunity? Oh, you got an external opportunity and you're in the current role for 6 months and you got a new role, which is a promotion. Yeah, that's okay. I mean, if you're sure you like it, don't waste the opportunity. What the 1 year mark, you decide that. I can't answer that for you. There is a certain block in our mind that we need to be 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. If you want to wait, but that opportunity will say bye bye and find someone else. It's up to you. If that makes you happier, take it. Okay. Akbari, practice in front of a phone. Look at the camera lens when you're talking. Nothing like practice. You don't get good. You don't get really, good at something unless you practice. When your organization doesn't appreciate you enough, should you switch or wait for your promotion? It's never an organization. It's a person, Disha, who's not appreciating you. So you know what I mean? It could be someone who's doing that, and if you can get another role with someone else, that's fine. But you know what I mean? I don't think of an organization like a building, brick and mortar. It's comprised of people. So be specific. It's a certain person who doesn't like you or doesn't appreciate you. I personally don't like cover letters, Goss, but there's some people that do. So the smaller the company, mid-size, small-size company, they look at these things very carefully. I've worked in large companies where cover letters, I honestly didn't have time to read them. And I've seen data that says up to 80% of recruiters don't read. But if I were you, I would just make it. So make it. And particularly when you want to explain a certain change, like, you're looking for a change of position and you want to explain something, or there's a gap for anyone in the gap in their career, a cover letter is a great opportunity to talk about what you've been doing during that gap. Hello there. I think you're in Slovenia. Let's see. How long does it take to wait for a referral to fetch an interview call? Can't really say. Yeah, it could be a month. It could be, I don't know. But the fortune is in the follow-up, right? So definitely take advantage and follow up. I think I'm coming close. I thought I was coming close to the end. I suddenly see like 40 more questions. Whoa. Okay. Hi, Aaron. Our company is running ATSs. They have to. They have to for time management, right? But at the end of the day, remember, it's a human being who decides if your resume goes through or not. Not an ATS. ATS will just make sure that it's parsed. It's certain minimum criteria. So, Amol, I think I answered your question. I'm not going to take more than one or two per person. Not fair to the others, guys. I'm sorry. This is a free session. I'm giving you my time. If you're interested in finding out more, you're more than welcome to join SuperCharge Club. But there's only so many hours in a day for me to go into full level of detail. Shashi Kumar, how do I describe in a resume about employment gap? Listen to that podcast. I have like literally given like template for an answer that you can use in that. Hi, my friend in Indonesia. Uh, Shh. I'm not going to say anything. Okay. If you have a frequent change in jobs, you have to understand why you've changed it. Before you explain it, you have to understand it for yourself. Practice that answer, right? And the reasons have to be very clear, because if you sound like you're fumbling and you're not confident, it's not going to convince the other person. So, first, be convinced before you convince others. Hi, Tina. Would you recommend doing job search during the summer period? Yes, good question. Excellent question, Tina. I have the same exact answer for the winter break. The tortoise and the hare, slow and steady, rather than big bursts. Yes, during the summer, a lot of recruiters and hiring managers take a break. Yes, you should take a break. Yes, you should rest, but don't completely switch off. A lot of times directors and senior managers are impatient because, for example, in North America and Europe, July, August is the summer period. Things are closed or they're slowing down. But they will say, hey, Sonal or Tina is my recruiter. I want this person to start in October. It takes a long time to find someone. So the smart recruiters are out there keeping an eye on people, and then they tap them on the shoulder, and then sign the contract, and the person says, I can join 1st September. So if I were a job seeker, I wouldn't switch off completely. That's my personal opinion. Saurav, I'll only be able to answer specific questions related to job search, careers in general, product management roles. I think I love product management. I've hired a lot of product managers. Just do it. Some preparatory material, Google it. Google is your best friend. I have 2 job offers. I talked about this, Amol. I've answered it for you. Please listen to my answer, because you're asking like 30 questions here, and please don't let me block you here. If you're gonna spam me, I'm blocking you, dude. Life's too short for misbehavior. Okay, I've answered it. If I answered it and then you posted this before, I apologize. But if you're gonna keep spamming, you're out. Okay, this is a very nice space, safe space with nice people, and there's certain decorum. I feel like a school teacher if I'm calling you out, but I'm not apologizing, because I'm seeing lots of questions from certain people getting repeated, and I think my patience is getting tested. Hi, Freddie. Is it good to do research about the company and be in connection before? Yeah, the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The next best time is today. So keep doing it, even if you're very happy where you are, even if you love your job. Just stay in touch. The very smart people, they stay in touch. Go back and listen to my podcast. Episode number 5, I think, is with a guy called David Wee. Okay, this is my podcast, How I Got Hired. David Wee, he talked about how he stayed in touch with headhunters for years and he helped them out, and that really helped. He never had to hunt for a job. Headhunters always reached out to him. So that's a very good practice. You'll get there, Rafiq. Just follow some guidelines, keep your chin up, keep doing things every day, have a routine. You'll get there. All right. English speaking classes, coaching, for sure. You have apps. I don't know which country you are in. You have apps. You have lots of stuff. I think you're in India. You'll find a lot of opportunities to do that. You'll have live conversation classes, etc. YouTube. There's no end. You just have to have the will to do it, like really seriously, and it's gonna happen. Priyanka, I want to switch, and it's been 6 months in my current role. Okay. I had this question earlier as well, Priyanka. You'll definitely, if you watch the replay, you'll find an answer as well, as to why. Because if you're not happy, you're not happy. Just be clear on that. Don't sort of come across as like whimsical. HR says they delay the salary negotiation after clearing the technical round. How do I follow up with HR? Just, very polite. I'm really looking forward to hearing from you. Very excited about the position. Keep it like polite and, sweet. You don't have to, get angry or anything like that. I answered this already on LinkedIn profile optimization. Go and watch the replay. I also have a free download on my website. Let's see. You have other coaches who are watching along with me, so listen to what they're saying as well. Particularly if you guys are watching on LinkedIn, you're going to see a lot of their live comments. Risto is a fantastic coach sitting in Finland who's become a dear friend of mine. Is it fair to accept a counter offer and stay in the same company? If it's not a question of fair, it's what you want. Be careful, be comfortable with it. It's a personal decision. I'm personally not comfortable with counter offers. I'm like, if it's gone, if my head, one foot is out the door, but there's no right or wrong answer. If this is what works for you, Bala, then stay with it. How do you tackle the situation when seniors don't recognize your education and accordingly don't give you to ask for it, Rakesh? Ask, put your hand up. You got to do it. You got to do it. No one's going to sit around and wait. And you know what I mean? Like, give it to you on a silver platter. You got to make the ask. Vipul, watch the replay. I talked about targeted job search and how you can reach out to certain people. Kabil, I've been trained and we're posted on the help desk. Okay, you want to go back and do something in Linux and you're on help desk. I think help desk is one of those things that people have to go through and appreciate how hard it is before they do something else. Yes, you can go back to HR, but learn as much as you can in this role, right? Don't look like the troublemaker, like, oh, this guy wants to move and he's not happy. And sure, they've put you there, but make sure you let them know, this is really great fun. If you have other opportunities as well, just keep me in mind and make sure you're the best in your field today, right? Because you don't want to come across as someone who's unhappy or ungrateful. I have an MBA in the insurance sector. All my friends keep demeaning the sector regarding growth. Get a new set of friends. I don't know. I don't care about the sector. I care about what you do. What's wrong with the insurance sector? My dad was in insurance for so many years. Just think about what you're writing. There's certain narrow-mindedness that says there's something wrong with the sector. Like, what kind of narrow-mindedness is that? There's complete illogical bias in there. Apply to 50 companies. Yes, spray and pray. Arun, that's spray and pray. Go back and watch the replay because I talked about that for sure. And you want to be more targeted. I understand it's not easy. Okay, 50 is not a joke. There's a fixed 20% salary hike rate being offered while switching job in IT. Any suggestions on how to get offers with maximum hike? Ask for it. Don't worry about the hike percentage. Focus on what you think your worth is according to the value, right? And watch those salary negotiation videos. I'm glad to hear it, Parker. Fantastic. Sorry, Madhu. It's good. Saeed, how do you handle a delay in increment revision? Initially, ask for it. Ask for it. No one is waiting for you. And making sure that you get what you want, you got to ask. I asked the first time I wanted a promotion. This is how it's done, guys. Congratulations, Bharnidharan. Wow. I'm very happy for you. If you guys watch my salary negotiation video, I have like close to 2,000 comments. I kid you not. By the way, Please put it in the comments if you'd like to know how I'm close to. This is a side note. This is the only time I'm going to speak about me. If anybody's interested in finding out how I reached close to 50,000 subscribers on YouTube in 4 months, 4 months, if you're interested. Can you see that? There. Oh boy. Can you see that? No, you can't see it. It's amazing. So if you're interested, please write it in the comments you're interested. I'm going to make a detailed video on lessons I've learned from this. And I can tell you some of those comments are like, this salary negotiation is total nonsense. This will never work in this country, this industry, my boss, my culture, healthcare, India. You don't understand anything about India. You don't live in India. I can't tell you the negative stuff. I've let it stay. You can read those comments because they make me laugh. You can be the complainer or you can take action. Yes, it works because humans are humans. One thing I don't know everything. One thing I do know is I know people. People are people. It doesn't matter where you live. I'm very happy for you. Okay. HR doesn't answer why I'm rejected. They don't have the time, dude. It's not easy for them. Ask them. If they don't answer, move on. All right. Okay, you don't want to see the video. Okay, don't see it. I don't know why you're here then. Yes, it's okay, Shan. You can start it off by definitely by saying that, yeah, I'm a little nervous. It's okay. Makes you human. But don't overdo it. Yeah, you don't want to be like out of your way because then they'll only think about nervous, you know. Happy you're here, Idina. That's really kind. Pankaj, let's see. Currently in a dilemma. I've got a job recently, but I made the mistake. I covered my 5-month gap in the employment, and then I'm regretting this, and I'm thinking of confession. Pankaj, I can't understand, but do what feels right to you. Don't be nervous about it. Take action. I made a mistake. I covered my 5-month gap. You lied? Then come clean. Just if it's in the past, I would suggest leave it. Don't do it again. I honestly don't know how it will help you to bring it up. But if it really bothers you, talk about it. Yes. Yeah. Watch the video. Tegan's like, watch the video. Is it bad to refer the right people directly at LinkedIn open position? No, it's not bad at all, Naveen. Not at all. Not at all. Can I work with 2 companies? Yeah, of course you can. The question is, will the companies know that you're working in 2 companies? I personally wouldn't like unless it's a part-timer. Make sure the companies know that. If they say yes, then of course you can work at 2 companies. Watch the resume building checklist I have on my YouTube channel, Jagdish. That'll help you for sure. I'm hearing a lot of stuff about toxicity. I'm so sorry, guys. Look for another job, Roshan. I don't know. I feel like if they've left, there's a reason they've left. I once quit. I remember we were like 5 people who quit in the same team. I mean, that tells you something. There's something going on there. So, you can stay or you can go. You got to take action. So, or Alicia, how do you select which headhunters to connect? Yeah, that's a good question. I think one of the best ways is referrals. So you will have friends who've been headhunted for sure. If you're at a senior level, then you can always find out from them and have informational chats with them. No expectations whatsoever. But headhunters are very smart. So if you're reaching out to a headhunter, like I'm a headhunter, I know why you're reaching out to me. So I'll make sure I put your name in my database. You got to start somewhere. Even a Google search will help you. Headhunters in my area, Indian food in my area. Google for everything. So that is one way, but it's always nicer if you can get an introduction through a friend or someone, ex-colleague, somebody who's no longer in the same company as you are. Very good idea to stay in touch with them. All right, guys, it's now exactly an hour. I'm sorry, I'm not going to keep going. It's not fair. If you still have questions and you're feeling a little bit low and you're not getting the results you want, you can keep doing what you're doing. Otherwise, think about joining SuperCharge Club, superchargeyourself.com/club with C capital. And just join it. I'm live every month over there with my group, 2 times a month, and we have specific things we work on. And I'm going to be launching live workshops very soon as well, paid, yeah, because then you'll show up, you'll take action. Otherwise, it's not always the same. So take care of yourselves, everybody, and do not forget, next week I am live with Brendan Kumaraswamy at the same time, and we're going to be talking about communication skills and the importance and what you can do in job search to improve your communication skills. Take care, everyone. Have a good weekend. Be safe, and I shall see you next Friday. Bye.